At 19 years old, Sergio Ramos joined Real Madrid from Sevilla. He won his first La Liga title at 21. At 22, he helped Spain win the UEFA Euro 2008. And 2 years later, at 24, he lifted the FIFA World Cup in 2010. But what if I tell you that these are nowhere near the peak of his career, which was 2017? Keep watching this video, and you'll understand exactly why 2017 was the year Sergio Ramos became an absolute monster. Let's get into it. Before becoming Real Madrid's hero, Ramos was just a boy from Camas, a small town near Sevilla in southern Spain. Growing up with dreams of becoming a professional footballer, young Sergio was also fascinated by bullfighting, a passion that later shaped his fearless approach on the pitch. He joined Sevilla's youth system at 14, and by 17, he was already playing for their first team. His talent was so obvious that in 2005, Real Madrid paid a record 27 million euros to sign the 19-year-old defender. Even then, club president Florentino Perez saw something special in Ramos. Not just technical ability, but the mentality of a future captain. Ramos's early years at Madrid weren't always smooth. Initially playing as a right back, he faced criticism while adapting to the enormous pressure of representing the world's biggest club. By 2015, he had moved to center back, won multiple trophies, and scored a famous 93rd minute equalizer in the 2014 Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, a goal that helped secure La Decima, Madrid's 10th European Cup. When legendary goalkeeper Iker Casillas left the club in 2015, Ramos inherited the captain's armband. But it was 2017 that would cement his status as one of football's all-time great defenders. The 2016-2017 season began with new manager Zinedine Zidane putting complete faith in his captain. Ramos had already built a reputation for scoring crucial goals, but nobody could have predicted just how decisive he would become. In November of 2016, with Madrid trailing Barcelona at Camp Nou in the first El Clasico of the season, Ramos rose highest in the 90th minute to head home an equalizer that silenced 90,000 Barcelona fans. That vital point would later prove crucial in the title race. This wasn't just a goal, it was a psychological blow to Barcelona and a statement that Madrid would fight until the final whistle of every match. As 2017 began, Ramos took his clutch performances to another level. In January, Madrid faced Sevilla twice in 1 week. First, in a Copa del Rey match, Ramos scored a Panenka penalty against his former club, celebrating defiantly in front of fans who once cheered him. Days later, in a La Liga clash against the same opponents, Madrid were trailing in stoppage time when Ramos headed home a 93rd minute equalizer. These weren't just goals, they were daggers to the opponent's hearts. The Ramos time phenomenon became so common that Madrid fans never lost hope when trailing late, knowing their captain might deliver another miracle. What made Ramos truly special in 2017 wasn't just his goal scoring, but his defensive mastery. Playing alongside Rafael Varane, Ramos read the game better than ever before. He knew exactly when to step forward to intercept, when to drop back to cover, and when to make those trademark last-ditch tackles. His positioning made defending look effortless, often stopping attacks before they became dangerous. Former Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand described Ramos's defensive awareness that season as almost supernatural, like he can see the danger before it even develops. This intelligence, combined with his physical strength and technical quality, made him the complete defender. The true test of greatness is performing when the stakes are highest, and no stage is bigger than the Champions League knockout rounds. In February of 2017, Madrid faced Napoli in the round of 16. After conceding early in the first leg, Ramos turned the tide with 2 headers in 5 minutes, his celebrations becoming iconic, arms outstretched, chest puffed out, and a man who seemed capable of bending football matches to his will through sheer force of personality. Madrid legend Alfredo Di Stefano's famous phrase, "Madrid is Madrid," described the club's refusal to accept defeat. In 2017, no player embodied this spirit more than Sergio Ramos. Of course, Ramos's aggressive style didn't come without controversy. By 2017, he had already collected over 20 red cards, a La Liga record that critics used to question his defensive abilities. Yet those who watched him regularly understood that this intensity, this willingness to walk the line between heroism and recklessness, was precisely what made him special. Former Madrid manager Jose Mourinho once said with Ramos, "You accept the whole package. The occasional red card is the price you pay for having a warrior who will fight for your team until his last breath." In 2017, that package included a defender who could change games at both ends of the pitch like no other in football history. As the 2016-17 season progressed, Madrid found themselves fighting on two fronts, trying to win their first La Liga title since 2012 while also defending their Champions League crown. The demands were immense, but Ramos thrived under pressure. In April, with the title race against Barcelona intensifying, Madrid faced Sporting Gijón with several players rested. When the team needed leadership, Ramos stepped up with an 84th-minute winner, not just any goal, but a stunning free kick that curled into the top corner. In the dressing room afterward, Zidane simply said, "This is why he's our captain. When others might crumble, Sergio rises." The defining image of Ramos's 2017 came in the Champions League final against Juventus in Cardiff. Although he didn't score in the final, Ramos delivered a defensive masterclass against a Juventus team that had conceded just 3 goals in the entire competition. By May of 2017, Madrid were closing in on a historic La Liga and Champions League double, something they hadn't achieved since 1958. The title race went down to the final day, with Madrid needing just 1 point against Malaga. Ramos organized a defense that kept a clean sheet in a comfortable 2-0 win, clinching the league title. In the celebrations, it was Ramos taking center stage, lifting the trophy with the passion of someone who understood exactly what it meant to wear that white shirt. Former Madrid defender Fernando Hierro said afterward, "Sergio represents everything that Madrid stands for, fighting until the end, never giving up, and leading by example. He's earned his place among the club's greatest captains." This summer brought little rest for Ramos as he represented Spain in World Cup qualifiers. By this point, he was approaching 150 caps, having been part of that historic team that won back-to-back European championships and the 2010 World Cup. When Madrid returned for the 2017-18 season, they immediately faced Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup. Ramos was instrumental in a comprehensive 5-1 aggregate victory that suggested Madrid's dominance would continue. In the UEFA Super Cup against Manchester United, he again proved his worth, with a commanding defensive display against Romelu Lukaku and Marcus Rashford. The numbers tell their own story about Ramos's incredible 2017. He scored 10 goals that calendar year, an extraordinary tally for a defender, including 7 crucial headers from set pieces. 5 of his goals were either equalizers or winners scored in the 80th minute or later. He maintained a pass completion rate above 90%, showing his contribution went far beyond just defending. Perhaps most impressively, in 2017, Real Madrid won 5 trophies: La Liga, the Champions League, the FIFA Club World Cup, and both the Spanish and UEFA Super Cups. At the heart of all these triumphs was their inspirational captain, who seemed to find a new level of excellence just when it mattered most. What's often overlooked about Ramos's 2017 is how he elevated those around him. His central defensive partner, Rafael Varane, enjoyed his best season to that point. Defensive midfielder Casemiro thrived knowing he had Ramos's leadership behind him. Even Cristiano Ronaldo seemed to draw inspiration from his captain's never-say-die attitude. This was the mark of true greatness. Not just performing brilliantly yourself, but making everyone around you better. Toni Kroos perhaps said it best. Playing with Sergio gives you confidence, even in the most difficult situations. You look at him and think, okay, we still have a chance because we have Ramos. As 2017 drew to a close, Ramos capped off his remarkable year by leading Madrid to the FIFA Club World Cup in December, defeating Gremio to secure their 5th trophy of the calendar year. In his victory speech, Ramos spoke about the insatiable hunger that drove him and his teammates to keep winning. That hunger, that refusal to be satisfied regardless of what had already been achieved, was perhaps Ramos's greatest quality. Zinedine Zidane summed it up perfectly. Sergio is one of those players who could walk into any team in any era. His quality is timeless, and his leadership is priceless. Want more legendary football stories like this? Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, and join our community in the comments with your favorite Ramos moment. Like Ramos himself, don't wait until the last minute. Smash that like button now and never miss another football masterclass.